what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominic. If you're new here, I talk about all sorts of different pop culture content having to do mostly with movies and music. So if you like that kind of content, definitely make sure to check out the rest of my channel. Feel free to subscribe, and you can unsubscribe at any moment if you feel like it. Today I'm going to be kind of doing an off-the-cuff review for the new Disney Plus show Obi-Wan Kenobi that released on Disney Plus. The finale aired last week, I think, or something, not too long ago, so pretty recent release. Thought it would be a good topic of discussion. I'm going to be doing a lot of these off-the-cuff reviews now from now on because I'm going to be working a lot this summer, so I'm going to be a little strained for time in the terms of, releasing videos on this channel, and so doing a sort of unscripted and very short, concise, simply edited, off-the-cuff review will be a way that I can get out content pretty consistently to you guys. So if there's anything you guys want me to review, movies, music, TV shows, definitely let me know down in the comment section, and be sure to like the video if you enjoy. But with that being said, let's get into my review of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So as I said, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the new show released on Disney Plus, and it obviously has Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen reprising their roles from the prequels as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. This is definitely a big draw for the series as a whole. It is a large reason why a lot of people even watch the show to begin with. Basically exactly what I described as me. I watched this show because I personally love the prequels. I'm a huge prequel defender. And so I was really excited to see these guys reprise their roles. They're very clearly passionate about these roles, and they love performing them, and so it's just great to see that passion in really any actor nowadays, regardless of what they're doing. This show is also getting some pretty widespread acclaim across the board. It seemed to me like a lot of people enjoyed this show, and it was getting very good response, so I was excited to kind of check it out to see if it lived up to the hype. And if you guys really want a short answer whether this show was worth it, did it live up to the hype, I'm gonna just say the short answer was no, but I did not dislike the show whatsoever. I thought it was a fun, fine enough show, but it really just didn't do much for me other than, the baseline of entertainment and then some great moments here and there. I want to get into my big issue that I have with the show, and basically with all of Disney's Star Wars content over the past couple of years, and that's that they have this main central plot line that is the main focus, and that really, well, not even necessarily the main focus, but they have the central plot line, which is kind of the big draw, what everyone is there for. In Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously it was the sort of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi sweepstakes, kind of what their relationship was like after the betrayal, after Order 66 in Revenge of the Sith, after Anakin's turn, all that sort of stuff. We get to see their relationship develop even more, kind of see how each person is feeling, what's going on. All that stuff in this show was, quite frankly, pretty brilliant. I thought all of it was tackled fantastically. Both of these characters get the all-star treatment, as they should, and those parts of the show were very, very well done. However, I want to say those parts were few and far between. They happened far less than I would have liked, and when they did happen, it was amazing. So they easily could have made this a bigger thing, but then unfortunately the same problem that a bunch of the other Disney Star Wars movies and shows have is that they have the rest of the show kind of stretched out, focusing on this subplot or the main plot that's just far less interesting than the other things. So they had this whole sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia adventure where she gets captured and then he has to get her back, and then the whole thing is just stretched out to the point where they have to fill in the rest of the episodes, but then they have to have those really awesome Darth Vader Obi-Wan Kenobi moments in them. And so that kind of leads to my point where the majority of the episode is very, very just surface level, not very entertaining, not doing much, very contrived plot, very basic, predictable, not super entertaining, not too much character development or good characters, period. I thought I don't want to rag on a child too much, but Princess Leia's actress was, in my personal opinion, really just not good. She didn't sell anything for me, and it involved some of the worst action sequences we've had in Star Wars, mainly that first chase sequence. If you've seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of the worst scenes in all of Star Wars, to be completely honest with you. And so all of that stuff with her, and basically anything else that wasn't the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader plotline, was just, as I said, very surface level, very contrived, very basic, predictable, and not very entertaining. It was fine enough for me to not dislike the show, and also it had those amazing moments which helped it kind of, raise up to what I think now of the show. But, overall as a full product, if you were to watch this and kind of show me which parts of the show were like really necessary and which parts made it as good of a show as I think it is, they would make up for probably 10% or maybe even a little less of the show, which is just absolutely terrible. Like, they really got to step up their game here, because obviously people like me are going to watch the shows regardless, but that doesn't give you just the automatic pass to just make the most, basic and by the numbers show just to get, a bunch of views. It just really pisses me off, and it's the big thing about Disney that I dislike, is they play everything so safe and so by the numbers and just in a boring fashion, to where it's like people will go and watch it because it looks okay, but then they'll come out and they'll just be disappointed, which a lot of people are. A lot of people really like this show, which is fine, but I personally don't really see the merit in a lot of it. And that brings me to kind of my next point, is this show never really justifies its own existence, and that is a huge problem when you're making a show, especially about characters that are so beloved and in a part of, a franchise where here you got, very set status quo from Revenge of the Sith, and then you got a very set status quo in A New Hope or 1977 Star Wars, right? And then you're kind of operating in this little window in between those, where you got to set the status quo at the beginning and keep the continuity, and then also end at the status quo of A New Hope, to where everything makes sense, and the continuity, as I said, can continue and can just make sense. And so that is a huge thing that this show had to kind of work with. It had to make this huge, like, grand scaled, like very entertaining, high stakes plot in a place where we know at the end who's going to survive, who's not, what basically is going to happen. And in my personal opinion, they kind of just did a big face plan on here. They did not succeed in that regard. Then the whole time, just I felt absolutely zero stakes in anything that was happening. And then on top of that, in my personal opinion, it really just falls flat, as I said, in the just execution of its story and just the story in general. Really just not much to write home about. There's really not that much going on in the show, and on top of providing a little bit of extra, character development for Anakin and Obi-Wan in between episodes 3 and 4, this show really just gave me nothing to work with. And as I said, if I was looking at this quote unquote objectively, which obviously doesn't really exist, but if I was looking at this from the quality of the show, I easily would give this probably like, I don't know, like a 3 out of 10 or something. Like, this is not a good show. It really doesn't provide me anything whatsoever. And then on top of that, a lot of the visuals even, they came in here with a director like Deborah Chow, who everyone was excited to, take the helm of this series. And it really just was poorly paced, and the visuals were not very good. There was a lot of scenes that were super dark, you couldn't see anything, and there was a lot of like shaky cam when, they easily could have just like plopped it on a tripod and it probably would have looked better. They were like, the camera was moving to make it look more realistic or something, but it really just took me out of the show more. Yeah, I don't know. I just really could not be more disappointed by almost every aspect of this show besides the finale, which felt easily the most fleshed out and like planned out episode of the show. It feels like they just had the finale and then they're like, you know what, let's just make 5 filler episodes before then and keep people on board until that episode. So really, really disappointing show. But as I said, it entertained me enough to where I don't dislike it. So I'm probably going to give Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm going to say right now a 5 out of 10. Right in the middle, you know, not a good show, but it entertained me enough to kind of keep me on board and watching for all of the episodes. And that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you've seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you've seen the entire series, definitely let me know down in the comments what you thought of it. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video. Also comment down below what movies, music, or TV shows you would like me to do an off-the-cuff review for in the future. And with that being said, again, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys all in the next one.